Why would you go buy a Hamsa? Yeah.
For luck.
For luck. Okay, yeah.
It's the hand of God.
Okay, so the hand of God. So certain luck or protection. Yeah. Also, I think another idea might be just, it's a Jewish symbol, so you want to connect to your Judaism, like a chai. People don't always know what the chai means. It means life, but people wear certain symbols to connect them just to things. That could be a reason. And the symbolism, you touched on it with the hand. So what's important about a hand? Hands in Judaism. Can you think of some associations of hands? So you mentioned the hand of God. Yeah, what else? Yeah, the Kohen. So hands represent blessing. It says that Jacob blessed his children with his hands, so it's blessing. Those are some ideas that are behind it. That there's a magical element to it, that it provides protection, connects you to the Jewish people. Just want to give you a little bit of background on it, and then maybe just discuss how Jewish it is. Okay, so the background, it started, this Hamsa started very far back, like from Near Eastern pagan societies in Mesopotamia and Phoenicia, and it represented originally, apparently, according to academic articles, the hand of Ishtar, which is like a goddess of that time period, and it represented, again, protection, because it's like a hand of a loving mother, a goddess of protection and blessing. People bless people with their hands, and it was specifically known to ward off the evil eye. Right, that's why some of them have. Yeah, you agree with that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so some of them actually have an eye on them, or yeah, and some of them will have actually like a blessing on them. Right, you've seen that before. So the idea was to ward off the evil eye, and the question, and so this spread into other cultures in that area. The Christians adopted it, and certain Christians adopted it, and they call it the hand of Mary. And Muslims call it the hand of Fatima, in reference to Muhammad's daughter, whose hand became a symbol of faith after legend says she stirred a hot pot with her hand and suffered no harm due to her faith. So different cultures adopted it. So the Jewish people also adopted it, or certain communities within Judaism, especially the Sephardic community. It became very prevalent among the Sephardic community, which was in those areas. And if you might say that amulets and evil eye, that seem kind of mystical and superstitious, but it's very present in the Talmud. I'll give you an example. The Talmud discusses an amulet. You're not allowed to carry something that you have. It's not a vessel that you can't use. That you have no usage for in Shabbat. When I say amulets, that doesn't say specifically a Hamsa, but amulet in general doesn't fall in that category. Why? Because you have a usage for it. It wards off the spirits. It has some sort of magical purpose. That's an example. And with the evil eye, we've like a year ago we finished Baba Metzia, which discusses damages, and it talks about the damages of the evil eye. And it says, for instance, that if you're guarding someone's property, you shouldn't spread out the lost article. Like so you found someone's lost article, you shouldn't spread it out for everyone to see, so the evil eye wouldn't affect it, because you can't. You're guarding it. You shouldn't cause it any damage. They believe the evil eye had an effect in Talmudic times. So those aspects of the evil eye and amulets were prevalent among Jews in Talmudic times. In more modern periods, Sephardic communities really adopted the Hamsa. The Hamsa is in a lot of Sephardic homes, and the main rabbi who kind of made it popular among the Sephardic community happens to be his yahrzeit tonight, and so his name is the Ben Ish Chai. And I'll just say one thing about there's two streams of thought in Sephardic. When I say Sephardic, I mean the Jews from more Middle Eastern countries. And so there's two streams of thought within Jewish and Sephardic law. And one of them is more Kabbalistic, and one is more mystical, and one of them more goes according to the simple reading of the text. And the mystical one all stems from the Ben Ish Chai. And all the big Sephardic authorities today that they go by his line of thought, he's the originator of that. So he's the Ben Ish Chai. His name is Yosef Chaim, and his name is Rabbi Yosef Chaim, and he lived 1835 to 1909. So he wrote in his halachic work, which everyone quotes, called the Ben Ish Chai. It's in a lot of people's homes. He says like this. He says the Gaon Chida, which was another Sephardic rabbi, says the general custom is to say Hamsa. This is what he says. In order to avoid an evil eye. So you say the word. I read this originally said is to say 5. The translation was 5. So it's like, if we say 5, will that ward off? No, it's you say Hamsa. You ward off the evil eye. And this is the reason for hanging a picture of a hand with 5 fingers and the Hebrew letter Hey on it, which has a numerical value of 5. So this appears in that work, and amongst Sephardic Jews, it's well accepted. I saw some discussions among Ashkenazic authorities if Ashkenazi Jews should make it a thing amongst themselves, because it didn't really catch on. But my feeling is if the way people use it today is very different than people don't really use it for magical purposes today. It's more of a way of connecting to God, thinking about God, the hand of God, or more of a way of connecting to the Jewish people. So I think this is another example of something like the Jewish star, the Magen David, that started out something magical and mystical and became something very symbolic. And I think it's another example of that. And if you can use it and it connects you more to Judaism and more to thinking about God, and if you especially get it with a blessing on it, there's certain ones that have a blessing on it, the blessing the house. If you get it with a blessing on it, that connects you more to God. I personally don't see a problem with it.